Today on the 2006 Jeep Commander, we're going to install a base plate kit from Roadmaster, part number RM-1427-1. First thing we're going to do is go ahead and open up the hood and remove 6 plastic fasteners across the top of the grille. To remove a grille, we just simply pull up in the center and maybe pick up on the side a little bit, and it unsnaps. Now we're going to remove these 4 fasteners that connect the bumper cover to the core support. Alright, we'll remove the 2 bolts attaching the fascia to the radiator support. We got to remove these 3 plastic rivets here. And you can drill them out, or you can pry them apart and cut them. Alright, next thing we gotta do is pull out the fender flare. Now we already have this one apart. To pull it apart, you have to reach behind the bumper fascia and squeeze these tabs together. Next thing we're going to do is go ahead and disconnect the fog-like wiring harness. There's a little tab on there you kind of pull back on, and then it slides apart. At this point, we can go ahead and remove the bumper fascia. You definitely want to have an extra set of hands to help do this. We'll pull out on the fender flare to give some clearance, and we can pull it straight out. The bumper fascia fits inside here. Sometimes there's a little catch in there. We just put a screwdriver and just give it a little bit of twist to spread it apart, and it popped right out. Next thing we need to remove is these frame caps right here. There. Next, we can remove the tow hooks. Remove these 3 bolts here. These studs have to be removed as well. So these little clips right here, we'll just squeeze it and just push it up. Now the bracket's going to install here, and we have to enlarge these 2 holes out to 1/2 inch size. Now we're going to take this flat plate and we're going to install it inside the bumper structure. We'll slip it in through here. Make sure that the holes line up. The block does have a slight offset to match the slight offset in the bumper structure. Okay, and there's holes behind the bumper structure. We can install the 1¼ inch bolts. Now we go install the receiver brace. We're just gonna slide it underneath the frame rail and into the bolts that we put into the bumper structure. All right, now we're going to leave our bolts just finger tight for now, so we can still move it around to line up the remaining bolts. We'll repeat the same process, but we're done with the driver's side one more time over on the passenger side. When we install our bolts for the frame rail, we're going to start from the furthest one back from the center and work our way towards the front. We're going to run this 3-inch long bolt and lock washer up through the bracket and into the hole that's in the frame, and we'll run the bolt into this handle nut right here with the round plate. All right, now we got to drill one more hole out. Now this hole is existing at the bottom of the frame, but we got to drill through this section that's in the middle of the frame. That's the part we have to drill out. Now this spacer will be set between the bottom of the frame and the inner part of the frame. Now you may have to bend this out of the way or trim the spacer down, whichever way is easiest to get it in place. And we'll run the bolt into this handle nut right here. Now to install the hardware for our last hole, we're going to use this bolt, this plate, lock washer, and the nut. All right, now we got all the hardware installed and it's still loose. Now we'll go ahead and repeat the same process over on the passenger side. With all our fasteners loosely installed, now we can go ahead and snug all the bolts down, then we'll torque them down as specified in the instructions. Now I go ahead and reinstall the caps at the end of the frame. Now we put our bumper cover back on to do a test fit. To accommodate the receiver arms, we have to cut out some of the plastic right here. If we use this dimension right here of the receiver arm, it's about the right length. So let's make some marks to give us our height. And now also, there's a tab behind the plastic for our safety chain cables. To make things easier to get to, we're going to have to cut out just a little bit more and go all the way down and have room for that. Basically, we'll go ahead and score the plastic and cut through it, and then we should end up with a clean edge. Last thing to install is our quick link and our safety cable. Install receiver arms. And we just got to install our pins. We are finished for install, and there you have it for part number 1427-1 from Roadmaster.